And welcome back, everyone. We are in June, week 4 review. And we are in the third part. We are almost done. So we just passed halfway through the third part, and we're coming into some new and challenging postures. Let's look at the first one now. So this is actually a sequence of a few postures. We're actually going through just 3. We're looking at stand high, search out the horse, you see there, cross hands, turn and kick, and brush knee, step down and punch. And then it repeats again. So it's a short sequence, doesn't require a lot of space, and allows you to go through a few postures and rep those out. And I'm not sure if I switch hands. We already did the drill where we switch sides. So this is a good drill for the form because you're doing all of the postures on the side that you would do same as the form. So things to remember are stand high, search out the horse. Try not to, well, let me wait till we get to it. I'm slowing down now. Stand high, search out the horse. Don't rise up and rise and then fall down for cross hands. So this is a sequence where it's easy to rise up and then go down. So try not to do that. Block and strike, turn and kick. Try without rising. Here, brush the knee and then punch down. Shift back, stand high, search out the horse, step forward. The turn is complicated because you're turning into a false stance, which I note in the description and just offer a little bit more in the description of that video. So now we're going into Pong, Lu, Ji, and An, as we would do in the form from brush knee and punch down. We're stepping back with the roll back and then stepping forward with the Ji. I step forward for the roll back. There, now I step back for the An. So you can see here I'm playing with, and at this point it'd be nice for you to start playing with the footwork of the Pong, Lu, Ji, and An. I step back for the roll back for the Lu, and you can see there I cover as I turn around. I step forward for Lu, step forward, step back for Lu also, and then just stay in place for An. I turn around, I bring the leg in, cover, and then punch down, step forward for Pong, step forward for the Lu row back, step back for both Ji and An there. So see how there's no set pattern. What we're sticking with is the order of Pong, Lu, Ji, and An, but there is no step pattern in terms of the stepping. So you can see that you can really start to play with the one step forward, one step back into cross legs, shuffle step forward, shuffle step back. Last week we looked at angling on the rollback in G. So that's also a possibility as well, which will then take you off of your straight line. So these are all things to consider and things that you should start to play around with, especially as you get deeper with, or desire to get deeper with Pong, Lu, Ji, and An, as it's usually a static posture. So when I step, I usually try to keep in mind, keep the center low when I'm stepping. So keep this in mind as you step forward. And this is always, in the form as you try to do. But once you add something new, it's easy to forget. If you're adding a variation with the leg, whether it's a shuffle step or a step back or a step forward into cross leg stance, stick to keeping the center low. and have this in mind as well. This keeps your mind at the feet and at the root, and keeps you true and honest to the principles. And this is going to be a relatively easier drill, going for repetition and going for deepening of the posture and the drill. So we're looking at An, and you can see here I really slowed down, turning around for G. Yielding, neutralizing down, An, push forward, turning around for G. Sit back, rock forward for An and G. So this is inhale, relax, exhale, forward. Inhale to the center, exhale behind, inhale back, exhale forward. Inhale center, exhale G. As you do this, as you relax more and more, try to feel the tissues in the legs, specifically the ankle, opening. Because right here, going back into that back leg, that ankle is most difficult for people to open. The Achilles, the ankle, and the smaller muscles of the foot, and up into the hip. These are what's going to keep you from relaxing and also sinking down for the posture. And then consequently, it's going to affect the coming back, circling back. So here, it's going to affect this circling back forward and up. All right. So when you do an easy drill like that, really focus on the relaxation, trying to get into that theta state, and then feeling the joints and the tissues around the joints opening up. Very important. That's what gives you the meditative aspect of Taijiquan. Now we're doing a little bit of a variation of the rollback and G. But what we're using is the single whip to G. So I turn into horse stance and start the pluck of the single whip, and then step forward into G. Go into horse stance, step forward G. Step back into horse stance, single whip pluck, step forward into G. Step back into horse stance, single whip plucks forward into G. So very interesting variation we have here. And the idea is you're plucking the opponent in front of you, and then you step forward and apply that G. So I speed up a little bit to try to go a little bit for medium speed. Pluck, press. Step back, pluck, step forward, press. Step back, pluck, step forward, press. You can see I try to drop into the horse stance right here, that pluck, step forward, G. I may slow it down again. So you can see the single whip in action there. Pluck, and then G. When you apply the G, you try to attach either to the back behind the arm or the lower back area, mid-back, to get it to the center. I'm sitting back here into a 4-6 stance. See how I turn the hips, and then transitioning into a false stance. Slide forward, mountain climbing, 4-6 false stance. Step forward, mountain climbing, 4-6 false stance. Step forward, mountain climbing, 4-6 false stance. Then cross leg stance. Cross leg stance. So we're keeping the weight posted on the right leg there. False stance, cross leg stance. false stance, cross leg stance. And then I turn around to repeat on the next leg. 4-6, false stance. Mountain climbing stance, forward, sit back, 4-6, and then false stance. Mountain climbing, 4-6, false stance. Mountain climbing, 4-6, false stance. And then right back into cross leg stance. So there's no pivoting needed of the leg that's posted or balanced, just some weight and some strength. False leg, cross leg stance, and then heel toe transition. That'll switch sides. I might do it again. False stance, cross leg stance, heel toe transition right there. Cross leg, false stance, heel toe transition to turn around. So you can see a lot. I use the heel toe transition. You want to get used to and comfortable with the heel toe transition. False stance, cross leg stance, cross stance. And now this is just, you know, a strengthening, a butt strengthening, a leg strengthening exercise, obviously, as well. So it's really going to, you know, get the legs and even the joints used to the Taijiquan movement. So we're getting ready for snake creeps down and step forward into 7 stars, which are really difficult postures, especially if you're trying to get low. This is what I mentioned in the description of the video. Turn around, heel toe transition. This is a Tame the Tiger stance. Deep lunge, heel toe transition, step forward into false stance. Mountain climbing stance into cross leg stance. Turn around, heel toe transition. Tame the Tiger stance. See that heel toe transition? Deep lunge is needed. Tame the Tiger stance. Heel toe transition, deep lunge into false stance. And that's really what's going to give us the capacity to step forward from snake creeps down into step forward to the 7 stars. Just really looking at the body work here. I'm sorry, the lower body work. Snake creeps down, mountain climbing, false stance, snake creeps down, mountain climbing, heel toe transition, false stance, cross leg stance, stepping back. All right. So you can see again, heel toe transition. I always use that to step forward or step back and to transition from those difficult low body postures. Our dog here at the retreat center. All right, guys, thank you for joining. We'll be back next week continuing the Taijiquan calendar series. See you soon. Bye-bye.